I had every intention of doing more of these on this channel, but I realized I haven't done one since like mid last year. So it's about time we did another one. It's going to be a fresh new game off the Switch. This will be for Blaster Master Zero. So here it is. Blaster Master Zero serves as both a great addition to the Switch eShop, but also a throwback to a classic game from back in the NES days. Blaster Master Zero definitely shows signs of where it came from. Some of the map locations and even bosses are the same, but even the things that are the same have some twists. Blaster Master Zero, for those that don't know better, is mostly an entirely different game. The reason for this is the addition of new bosses that were not present in the NES counterpart, actually needing to enter other places in pilot mode when not traveling via the Sophia 3, as opposed to only needing to go in a one set path, and also different boss patterns even for bosses that are the same. Inti Creates of Mega Man Zero fame attempts to tell a story which was pretty much absent from the NES version. The story is of a boy named Jason looking for his pet frog, while dealing with a mutant invasion along the way. Blaster Master Zero even adds a character, Eve, that ties to the Sophia 3, which is the vehicle you drive, and has been involved in this war of sorts longer than Jason, the main character, clearly is. The game also changes some areas entirely for a fresh take on the level. The only music that really returns from the NES game is the first stage theme. Everything else are original tracks that only seem to perhaps show hints of the original tracks, if at all. The level changes stand out since they do emphasize exploration more so than the original. Area 7 even plays with the concept of stealth, making for quite the interesting level. For what the game gains in creativity though, the difficulty is sure lacking. One of the best examples of this actually comes towards the end of the game. I won't spoil how the boss is different from the original game, but there's definitely a very quick way to beat said boss, which is a real shame given that the fight without this would have made for a real challenge, along with something a tad bit different. It's hard to explain said part without spoilers, but this game definitely had the chance with varied boss patterns, and also some mini-bosses to offer up a challenge and spike up the difficulty from time to time, but no dice. In a world where we're spoiled by autosaves, this is not a thing. Plus, you have unlimited tries as opposed to lives, and limited continues. Games being NES hard is a thing of the past unless you're playing something like, say, Dark Souls or hike up the difficulty setting in your game of choice. This game's controls are spot on. Controlling Jason in pilot mode controls just as expected, and due to more buttons on the controller than back in the day, strafing while shooting is easier than ever. The Sophia 3 suffers from being a bit slippery, like it was back in the day, a bit of Mario foot, if you will, as a certain VGAC admin would say, but this is true to the original and acceptable. Most of the abilities are the same too, with some new ones added. Hover, which is a returning ability, is now easier to use. If you try to get to an area and you run out of hover, trying to get there, your skills do work off at the same SP gauge, which does refill over time. An example of a new ability is a cannon that has a bit of kickback when shot and will cause an explosion upon impact. Said explosion will cause you damage if you're too close to it as a drawback. However, the huge plus adding to the game being too easy theory is this cannon can flat out blow up spikes. This makes a spike-heavy area like Area 8 much too easy. It makes the level only come down to eventually finding the right way. Given that you have unlimited tries, this decision puzzles me overall. The more and more I think about it, the more bothersome it is, although this could be a barrier of entry to newer fans of the series. This is the same company that had a hand in the Mega Man Zero series, so they're definitely capable of making things hard, although admittedly that would have been too much if they truly were going for Blaster Master being an overall more accessible game. On that same point though of accessibility, for whatever reason, you cannot use the Pro Controller for this title, which is quite bothersome. If nothing else, it's certainly nice to see something with the Blaster Master name again that isn't a forgettable title. In fact, I can't remember one title outside of the one that came out for the PS1 forever ago, which I can't remember the name of. Blasting Again, was it? Blaster Master Zero actually does just that, except this one will be worth your time and money, even if it is a short-lived experience.